Hi everyone, Marion Emberson here for Wow Embossing Powder. I want to do this video for you to show you how to use the Wow's Melt It powder. In my opinion, one of the best products they've ever brought out. Absolutely love this. Just for the fact that the jewellery that you can make with it is just phenomenal, and then the embellishments, and it's just absolutely fabulous. So if you're not familiar with it, it's a very, very fine embossing powder. And when I say fine, you can just see it on my finger there. It's like icing sugar. It really, really is fine. Complete opposite to our ultra high. But it acts as an extender for your colour powder. So that when you're melting it down, you only need to use a small amount, as you're going to see in a minute, of the coloured powder. I want to show you in this video how we're going to make a ring. So we're going to do a little bit of jewellery. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, how much powder do you need to put in, per mould? But it really does depend on the size mould that you're using. For example, I'm going to be using this brand new one that we've just got in called the Rose Quartet. And I'm going to do a ring out of the large one. And for that, I'm going to use 2 heaped teaspoons. Now, it really is trial and error to start with, but this is one of the joys of it. If it goes wrong, if you haven't used enough, you can let it set, throw it back in your pot, add a little bit more, and then remelt it. So you actually get no wastage whatsoever, which is just absolutely fabulous. We're going to use a foil tray, so I'm just going to make a little spout for myself there. Use a wooden peg, tip that a little bit so it's going to sit nice and flat for us. I'm going to put in about, as I say, 2 heaped teaspoons for this one. So I'm going to take my melt it, 2 heaped teaspoons, pop the lid back on. I'm going to make a black ring. So I'm just going to put a tiny little amount, about that much. I would say, that's really, it's not heaped or anything, that's just sort of sitting in the bottom of the spoon. You can probably see from there. That's probably about a quarter, well no, not even a quarter actually, that's probably about 1/8 of a teaspoon. So it just shows you how you really don't need to use a lot. And this is the trick to it. You really want to mix it up. So get all that powder, all that coloured powder mixed into your melted powder. It just, when you're just using one colour, it's not so bad. But if you're, I want to do sort of future videos where I'm going to show you where we're going to mix colours up. And then that's where this bit definitely comes into its own. So what I'm going to do now is take the heat gun and we're going to heat from underneath. Okay, I'm going to fast forward it for you so you haven't got to sort of watch through that. It's going to take about a couple of minutes for me to do that. You heat it from underneath until it's all nice and molten, and then as soon as it's all melted, you can put your heat on top. This is only once it's all melted, mind. Put your heat on top and then start bringing it all forward so you get it to that tipping point. When it's lovely and molten, you can then just pour it straight into the centre of the mould until it just gets to the top, it finds its own level, and then take it away. Okay? Okay, so it's nice and molten now. I'm just going to pour that straight in there. It's found its level. Don't worry about those little bits. Those bits, they just pop back in. You can remelt them at a later date. And now I'm going to use my peg again, and I'm going to take a ring base. I'm just going to hold it with the peg because obviously it's going to get hot. And it's got a little sort of circle just here, you can see. That's the bit that I want to cover and stick inside the mould. So I'm just going to grab it nicely. I'm just going to pop it in there. So I just push it down in there and then bring it back up. So all the molten powder has just covered it, and now it's just going to start setting around it. Depending on the size of the mould that you're doing is depending on how long it's going to take to set. Obviously if it's a lot shallower, it's going to take a lot quicker. But you can always check, because if you let go of the ring base with your peg and you find that it sort of drops or moves slightly, then you know it's not quite set for you. So you can just also, you know, just grab it again. But grab it with your peg, not your fingers, because it gets very, very hot. And it will stay hot for a little while as well because it's metal, obviously, so it's going to burn you. So just be careful with that. So I'm just going to, see, I just moved it then and it still had movement in there. So I'm going to hold it here just for a little bit longer. You can also blow onto it as well, and that will help it. Just, you know, just helps it set a bit quicker. So don't, you know, don't make yourself go giddy. There we go. So I've just taken that away now, and then that is just sort of setting around it. It's not sunk anymore, so that's sort of pretty perfect for me. So I'm just going to show you there so you can see it just sort of sitting in there. It's just taking it up. And if I have a little feel there, I can feel that it's all set now. So to get it out, it's as simple as I just take my finger and just push from underneath. And I'm going to take it, I'm going to hold it by this bit, not by the metal ring bit. And then there we go. I've got that one, which is just absolutely gorgeous. And then in true form, here's one I've made earlier. That just looks really, really lovely. So it's not just for jewellery, you know, I mean, obviously you can do it for rings, you can do it for necklace, especially with this mould as well, so you can make it in all the different sizes, so you can do little earrings as well, you can have a ring one, you can have a necklace, just absolutely fabulous. But you can use it for embellishments as well, so here we've just sort of embellished the star with it, with our little petals one. Then on this one we've got the snowflake one. We have all these in stock at the moment. And then on this one here, this is the foliage one, and I've just made a flower out of some hessian and then just popped the foliage one. If I just sort of bring that up, it just shows so much detail. They're just absolutely gorgeous. It's brilliant to use, fun to use as well. And this is another one that I've made, and this is using our large open rose mould. And I'm going to show you in later videos how you can mix your colours. So this isn't a standard colour that we do, this is where I've mixed some colours to get this colour. So I'll share that with you later. So in the meantime, you can take a little look and admire my ring that I've just made, and then get yourself onto our website, look on our Facebook page, there's lots of inspiration, and grab yourself some Melt It and some of the moulds, and then just enjoy making jewellery. Thanks for watching, bye.